name is Paxton Smith. I'm here on behalf of A is For, a nonprofit that uses the arts to destigmatize abortion, as well as WRAP, the Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project, which funds abortions and emergency contraceptives in all 50 states. In May of this year, Texas passed the 6-week abortion ban, which is now in effect in my home. As a resident of Texas, there's a lot of stuff that comes to my mind when I think of this ban. But one of the things that just incessantly keeps coming back to me is the idea of how this could potentially change my life. In high school, I spent hours studying every single night to get perfect grades. I overwhelmed myself with extracurriculars to put on college applications and resumes. I remember working until 3 a.m. some mornings just to finance my college education. And I did all of this with the hopes of opening up as many doors as possible for myself, so that how I spend my time on this planet is how I choose to spend it. But now that decision is not necessarily mine anymore. If I become pregnant, then the potentially life-changing decision to carry out that pregnancy has been taken out of my hands and put into the hands of a stranger, at the belief systems of a stranger, at the will of a stranger. I could be forced to have a child, regardless of the impact that it will have on the life that I have been working towards, the life that I will be the one to live through. If I become pregnant, I don't know if I will abide by the law. But what I do does not change the fact that others will not abide by the law. Earlier this year, I met a woman who had an abortion about 50 years ago, just before Roe v. Wade. She was 19 when she found out she was pregnant. She was a freshman in college like me, but the doctor couldn't give her the abortion that she wanted. She had to rely on an underground system of women to find the nearest abortion clinic, which was in another country entirely. She crossed the border to Mexico to get the procedure, and when she came back, she began to bleed uncontrollably. In insurmountable pain, she rushed to the emergency room, and they told her, "Honey, no one's gonna be willing to touch you." None of the doctors were willing to help her because they were afraid of the legal implications that would come with saving the life of a woman who had had an illegal abortion. Her story was not unique. It is not unique. Before Roe v. Wade, thousands of people ended up in emergency rooms from botched abortions. Thousands of people ended up suffering lifelong injuries because of getting the illegal procedure. Thousands of women ended up dying, gone, because doctors were not legally allowed to provide the procedure and they were forced to take it into their own hands. That was the reality less than 50 years ago. And that is the reality again in my home. The time for silence on the issue has come and gone. There is no more time for complacency. There is no more time to wait and see what happens next, because the very thing we are afraid of is happening right now. Every citizen of Texas who has the reproductive capability of carrying out a pregnancy has had a fundamental freedom stripped away from them, the fundamental human right to decide what we do with our lives. And the unbearable truth is that that could soon be the reality for far more than just Texans. It is time to do something about that. It is time to say something about that. I need you to do something about that. And if you can't do it for me, and if you can't do it for yourself, then do it for every young girl who comes after us, every young person who comes after us, because they are counting on you. So what will you do? Thank you.